Well, welcome back everyone. Today I want to talk about something really interesting, and it's the concept of being able to change other people's minds, being able to change their opinions and their perceptions. Well, with the election approaching, how much time and energy are people putting into trying to change other people's opinions? Politics is kind of nasty, but it's also an effort to get people to think a certain way. There's a psychological term called confirmation bias. And confirmation bias is when the information that people recall is typically aligns with their beliefs, their existing beliefs. And it's kind of hard to get them to move from that spot. So can we change other people's opinions? Can we change their perceptions? Whether it's related to politics or social injustice, can we do that? Well, I know people are working really hard at that. And personally, I'm not sure that we can unless the person is open and receptive to considering other points of view. There's a quote that I love. It's the mind, like a parachute, functions only when open. The mind, like a parachute, functions only when open. And I think a lot of people are closed and don't have the desire to consider an opposing side. But I do want to mention what doesn't work. What doesn't work to change people's opinions and minds, I believe, is the angry rhetoric that people engage in, especially on social media. The bullying, oftentimes verbally abusive statements that are made, trying to talk people into seeing it a different way and talking down to them in a condescending, ridiculing way. Sometimes people use fear or guilt to try to change people's opinions and beliefs. I believe that doesn't work. I believe when people are talked to in that fashion, it just solidifies their position. They dig their heels in and they decide, I'm not going to change my opinion now even more than before. So what does work? If anything works, what is it that people can do to either influence or persuade others to have a different perception? So I think the first thing that people can do is they can talk less and listen more. So many people, when they have an opinion, they feel compelled to talk over others, to interrupt others, maybe even to yell or talk very aggressively. I don't think that works. I think people tune that out and it just justifies their position. The second thing that I think helps is understanding that we have difference of opinions, but being able to respect the differences and accept the differences. Sometimes people have a hard time accepting that we're different. We have a different opinion. We have a different belief system. But that's okay. You might have to just agree to disagree, and that might be the best you're going to do. The third thing is, can we find a kernel of overlap, or can we find something that we both agree on? Something that we can both, get on board with. In whether it's in politics or in any format, finding something that we can both agree on, that helps. The other thing that I think is essential is to be able to have a certain level of empathy, understanding, and appreciation for each other's position. and maybe understanding why that person is choosing that position, even though it might be different from your own. And that does require a certain amount of connection and a certain amount of engagement. The last thing that I think is so important in all of this is to value the relationships that you have over being right or convincing the other person to see things exactly the way you see things. Relationships matter. They matter so much, and it saddens me to see relationships destroyed, severed, or conflictual based on politics or social injustice or opinions and belief systems that are polarizing and conflictual. My challenge for you is with your friends, your family, the people that you love and care about. Don't allow these conflicts to separate you, to pull you apart. Love one another, accept one another, regardless of in November who they vote for. That should not impact the relationship that you have. So I encourage you to embrace your differences and love each other in spite of those differences. Until next time, Dr. Tony Ferretti signing out.